It's Tuesday, February 20. In the headlines, Jamaica Fire Brigade responded to 453 calls for motor vehicle fires in 2023. And the British government invests in a small island developing states climate change program. In business news, ICreate reports year-end net loss. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, makes call for regional energy collaboration. And in sports, FIFA-funded program to fuel Guyana's Under-17 World Cup ambitions. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, in collaboration with the Government of the United Kingdom, launched the Small Islands Developing States Capacity and Resilience Program, CEDAR, in the Caribbean. The CEDAR program aims to respond to the unique disadvantages of small island developing states through small population sizes, remoteness, vulnerability to economic shocks and natural disasters, and limited capacity. Our news team was there and filed this report. Executive Director of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, Dr. Colin Young, says accessing international funding has been a challenge for small island developing states, SIDS.
According to the IMF, in 2023, the Caribbean has received only about $800 million from the GCF, the GEF, and the Adaptation Fund combined. Even as there is an estimated adaptation investment need of $100 billion for the region.
He explains the Small Island Developing States Capacity and Resilience Program seeks to scale up access and speed to climate finance and support programmatic acceleration of climate resilient actions in 7 member states of CARICOM. These include Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia and Suriname.
So rather than sort of just hearing what the challenges were in the region, the UK, through this investment, then is seeking to actually address some of these barriers so that we can mobilize climate finance for our countries.
Dr. Young says the program is seeking to, among other things, build public sector capacity.
This workshop that is being held over the next 2 days is case in point. It is bringing together direct access entities and aspiring direct access entities together in the same space to share experiences and lessons learned in an attempt to transfer knowledge and to empower these entities to better be able to access the complicated international climate finance architecture.
The 5 Cs will also be establishing the first climate finance help desk
that will support our member states in the development and implementation of projects. And through the help desk that will be at the center, the 5 Cs will make its cadre of technical specialists in procurement, monitoring and evaluation, project development, gender and ESS, and others available to our member states.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade is urging greater caution among motorists. Commissioner of the JFB, Stuart Beckford, says the number of fires resulting from motor vehicle crashes increased by 20.8% last year when compared to 2022. He says the Jamaica Fire Brigade responded to 453 calls for motor vehicle fires, up from 375 the previous year. Motor vehicle accidents increased from 1,079 in 2022 to 1,120 by the end of 2023. Commissioner Beckford says the Westmoreland Division is of particular concern, having recorded the highest number of motor vehicle accidents for the year. Other divisions also reported an increase in response to motor vehicle accidents in 2023. The St. James Division follows Westmoreland with 156 crash responses, representing 13.9% rise from 2022, while the Kingston and St. Andrew Division recorded 117 responses, representing a 10.4% increase from 2022. He says the effects of reckless driving habits present a serious challenge for the Jamaica Fire Brigade, most notably the impact on the mental health of the firefighters. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams is encouraging teachers to use the ministry's Job Bank portal to identify jobs in the sector. Danita Rodney tells us more.
Speaking at the Jamaica Teaching Council's Beginning Teachers Synergy Conference held at the Micah University College on Friday, Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams, says the portal aims to streamline the process of finding teachers and teaching jobs.
You know, the search process sometimes takes a while for you to find the school that needs your subject area, if you are a specialist, or to come in contact with that primary school that will need you. We made it easier. And we'd love for you to register, upload your resume onto the jobs platform so that our principals or boards all across Jamaica will have access to that information, and it will make your placement, your search process easier for you.
Mrs. Williams also encouraged teachers to utilize the ministry's online repository of lesson plans that can be tailored to fit the needs of the students.
We want you, our new teachers, as well as our existing teachers, to make good use of it. You should feel free to modify what you pull down. We're not saying that you have to go exactly according to how it's laid out. You have to know the class that you're teaching, right? Know where you are in the process, and you can make those modifications, but we don't want you to have to give up your weekend to create lesson plans. We have created lesson plans for you.
The portal can be accessed at jobs.moey.gov.jm. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
700 participants underwent an average of 4 tests during the Health Ministry's Know Your Numbers campaign in Sam Sharp Square, Montego Bay, St. James last week. According to the ministry, this brings the total number of tests to 2,000 this year. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, who attended the engagement, explains, quote, Know Your Numbers is a simple program that says you must know your health status. In other words, get a checkup that will tell you how healthy you are, and it allows you an opportunity to get counseling by your doctors, nutritionists, and physical education instructors to correct any issues, end quote. Each of the approximately 700 participants underwent tests for blood sugar level, cholesterol, blood pressure, hemoglobin, body mass index, and eye examinations, among other health checks. Dr. Tufton says the campaign is not only facilitating on-the-spot tests, but data is also being collated across Jamaica, being used to design healthcare policies and interventions. Time now for another episode of Living Healthy. The Caribbean Institute for Health Research's Professor Alafia Samuels talks about hidden sugar.
Professor Samuels is inviting you to be a sugar sleuth. Before buying a product, one should read the label and look out for added sugar, and it won't always be called sugar. It's often described as evaporated cane juice, fruit juice concentrate, brown rice syrup, malt syrup, corn syrup, date syrup, barley malt, or galactose or glucose.
Hidden sugar is a term that is used when they are talking about foods. And sugar comes disguised with many different names. Maltose and fructose and sucrose and corn syrup and all of these things. And so a lot of times when you look on the label of a product, you don't see the word sugar, you will see something else. And if you don't know all the disguises for sugar, you might not realize that it is in fact sugar.
She explains that human eating habits have changed over the years, and some of these habits put people at risk of non-communicable diseases like childhood obesity.
Okay, so what happened is that, say, 50 or 100 years ago, the main problems were communicable diseases. Polio, diphtheria, tetanus, tuberculosis. Over the years, immunization, yes, the same immunization like we get for COVID. Immunization against all of these diseases have changed the face of the disease pattern and also allowed people to live much longer, because children used to die a lot in early days from all of these preventable diseases. So we have kind of conquered that, but at the same time that we did that, we went into what we call the nutrition transition. At that time long ago, we used to eat what came straight out of the earth. Now we are eating out of tin and from the fast food, and it's everywhere. French fries with 3 meals a day. That change in the diet culture is what is causing our steep increase in the risk factors, especially obesity, and also in the actual diseases too, especially in children.
Childhood obesity is a problem. It is a serious medical condition that affects children and adolescents. It's particularly troubling because the extra pounds often start children on the path to health problems such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Child obesity can also lead to poor self-esteem and depression. So what can parents do about it?
Again, I want to go back to the drinks. Give your children water to drink. That is one of the most important things that we can start with, and it's doable. It's doable, you know what I'm saying? Because that sugar in the drink is very dangerous. Because when sugar just gets it in a liquid into your stomach, it's absorbed immediately, and you get a sugar spike, and then the insulin comes and then you get a sugar crash. So the sugar goes down below the normal level, and then you want another soda to bring the sugar back up. So we need to get out of that sweet drink thing.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. In corporate movements, billboard advertising, real estate development, and animation training company ICreate Limited for the year ended December 31, 2023, reported a 76% increase in revenue totaling $140.46 million, compared to $79.63 million in the corresponding period last year. Total operating expenses for the year ended December 31, 2023, amounted to $222.29 million, a 142% increase relative to $91.84 million reported in 2022. This was largely due to acquisition-related expenses, which totaled $107.49 million. As a result, net loss attributable to shareholders was $149.50 million, compared to the 2022 financial result of a loss of $39.94 million. Investors can expect dividend announcement or payments from two prominent companies. Grace Kennedy Limited has advised that its board of directors will on Thursday, February 29, 2024, consider a resolution for the declaration of an interim dividend to be paid in April 2024. Following that, NCB Financial Group Limited has advised that its board of directors has approved an interim dividend payment of 50 cents per ordinary stock unit payable on March 18, 2024 to stockholders on record as at March 4, 2024. The ex-dividend date is March 1, 2024. With a focus on encouraging clusters of businesses in the information technology, creative industries, tourism, health, education, and non-crop agriculture enterprises, the Development Bank of Jamaica, through its Boosting Innovation Growth and Entrepreneurship Ecosystems program, has opened a 4-week call for concept notes for the Jamaica Business Fund, a grant fund product aimed at supporting groups of businesses operating as clusters. The call, according to the DBJ, is step 1 of a 2-step application process with funding up to US $300,000 available for successful projects. Given the current challenges facing the Caribbean and the world, climate resilient solutions, utilization, adaptation or mitigation innovations or technologies are high priority for the Jamaica Business Fund. Applications must be completed online, and the application window will remain open until March 25. During trading on February 19, 2024, the top advancing stocks covered the finance and food sectors of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Jamaica Money Market Brokers 5.75C shares advanced 15.29% for a 24-cent price increase to close at $1.81 with 577 shares traded. ISP Finance Services Limited shares advanced 14.99% for a $4.04 jump in price to close at $31 with 1,978 shares traded. Caribbean Producers Jamaica shares advanced 13.09% for a $1.25 price increase to close at $10.80 with 156,924 shares traded. On the declining stocks that traders experienced on February 19, 2024, the top 3 losers covered the manufacturing, food and finance sectors on the stock exchange. Blue Power Group Limited declined by 14.93% for a 50-cent decline to close at $2.85 with 434 shares traded. Caribbean Cream Limited declined by 12.05% for a 47-cent price drop to close at $3.43 with 100,615 shares traded. First Rock Capital Holdings US dollar shares declined by 11.49% for a 1-cent drop to close at 4 cents with 5,635 shares traded. Trading activity on the first-tier market of the Trinidad and Tobago stock market for February 19, 2024 registered a volume of 30,612 shares crossing the floor of the exchange valued at $560,769.54 Trinidad and Tobago currency. Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 16,021 shares changing hands for a value of $68,392.14 Trinidad currency, followed by National Enterprises Limited with a volume of 7,152,000 shares being traded for TT $27,869.10. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On February 19, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $14.5 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $13.6 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $158.06 and bought the US dollar for $155.39. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $2.67, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $6.94 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold for $119.64 and bought for $112.70. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $7.10, selling it for $201.24 and buying it for $194.14. For our credit report tip of the day, your credit utilization ratio, the amount of credit you're using compared to your total available credit, plays a pivotal role in your credit score. Aim to keep this ratio below 30% to signal to creditors that you're effectively managing your credit and not overly reliant on borrowed funds. By strategically managing your credit card balances and avoiding maxing out your available credit, you not only improve your credit worthiness, but also preserve financial flexibility for future endeavors. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Martine Moise, the wife of Haiti's late President Jovenel Moise, has been indicted based on information uncovered about her husband's assassination. A judge in Haiti responsible for investigating the July 2021 murder has also issued indictments for ex-Prime Minister Claude Joseph and the former chief of Haiti's National Police, Lon Charles, among others. Dozens of suspects were indicted in the 122-page report issued by Walter Weser Voltaire, who is the fifth judge to lead the investigation after previous ones stepped down for various reasons, including fear of being killed. Guyana's President Dr. Ifran Ali has promised that his country's development of the energy sector will benefit the region. Dr. Ali, along with Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, officially opened the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo in Georgetown on Monday. Sunil Lala reports.
That development in Guyana, especially in the energy sector, must and will benefit the region.
A bold statement from Guyana's President Dr. Ifran Ali on Monday as he officially opened the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo. He said Guyana's booming oil and gas industry will directly benefit the people of Guyana through revenue creation, increased foreign direct investment, and local content development, but noted that regional neighbors will also benefit significantly.
I ask all the gas value chain participants today and in the future to work closely together with a common objective of developing Guyana's gas now to ensure the maximum value from our gas resources, ensuring the future development of Guyana and prosperity of all Guyanese and the region as a whole.
In his address, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said the region is no stranger to challenges, having to import an estimated 87% of oil compared to the global average of 21%. This, he noted, leaves the region vulnerable to energy market volatility, and he advanced the need for collaborative efforts in the region to effectively utilize its resources.
To this end, we have executed unitization agreements with the government of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the government of Barbados, and the government of Grenada, which will allow for the exploration of hydrocarbon resources in the maritime boundaries shared with these neighboring countries.
Dr. Rowley said TNT is also open to engagements with its regional neighbors to lend a hand in their energy pursuits.
As a country with more than 100 years in the oil and gas business, we are open to collaborating with our regional neighbors in the development of the region's hydrocarbon resources through the sharing of our knowledge, expertise, and infrastructure in commercial activity.
Dr. Rowley noted TNT has actioned an MOU with Guyana through the formation of a high-level bilateral commission, as well as a MOU with Suriname in July 2023 for cooperation in the energy sector. On day 2, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries Stuart Young is excited to give his presentation at the Guyana Energy Conference. Sonalala, TTT News, Georgetown.
Hundreds of stakeholders gathered in Kingston, Georgetown for the first day of this year's Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo on Monday. And as the conference opened with rousing presentations on Guyana's exciting economic prospects, there were calls for the United States of America and the wider international community to continue supporting the country's sovereignty. This was seen as particularly crucial as Guyana seeks a final binding resolution to the long-standing border controversy with Venezuela.
Guyana is a democracy. It's a country that is full of beautiful people, peaceful people, who have embraced the values of liberty and prosperity, and that has defended its sovereignty and its territory to all the means in international law. And we, as members of the international community, you as members of the investment community, and everybody by being here today in Guyana, is to reaffirm the sovereignty and the right of the Guyanese people against any form of threat. Your presence today is a reaffirmation of that sovereignty and that opportunity. And this is a very powerful image of what I call the exercise of sovereignty. The threats that we have seen for political reasons by the dictatorship in Venezuela, we know how they play that same old game just to try to shift the attention from the electorate in Venezuela, considering the pressure for free elections. But I just want to say today that the Essequibo region, where Guyana has exercised sovereignty and then is defending in international courts, is a region where most of the values that I have described have been accomplished by the Guyanese people. So that also reaffirms the condition.
We have to ensure that Guyana has the tools and security it needs to fulfill its potential as a truly massive producer of energy. It's of paramount importance. Guyana's energy, your natural resources, your innovation in the energy space, all of that together will deliver security to Guyanese people, just as was the case for the American energy sector. And you all know this. It's not just important for Guyana, it's vital for the region and the world as well. It's why I feel America should do what it can to advocate for and help defend Guyana's sovereignty and its freedom. It's an imperative.
In sports, with the intention of qualifying for a FIFA Under-17 World Cup, which from 2025 will be held every year, the Guyana Football Federation, through FIFA, is investing in the development of its male Under-15 and Under-16 players. More in this report.
Technical Director Brian Joseph announced that the Federation has been approved as a beneficiary of the FIFA Talent Development Scheme, TDS, a high-performance program aimed at fostering the growth and development of top talents in countries. According to FIFA, the TDS aims to create a sustainable legacy for long-term talent development by maximizing each participating member association's opportunities as identified in their individual ecosystem analysis report.
The idea behind all of this is the fact that we don't have the expertise in high performance. We don't have it in this country. It's something that is new to us. Obviously, FIFA has afforded us that opportunity. We have someone like Ruben, who has been in high performance all his life, and we specifically target that age group because we understand that from 2025 there's going to be an annual Under-17 World Cup, right? That means that every year there's a possibility that Guyana could qualify for its first World Cup.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. And do remember, we are the People's Station.